So yesterday, I was looking around at some things, and somebody was talking about a person who's famous, and was saying that their management company got PPP loans, and it was a ridiculous amount of money. And I, like I said, when they did the stimulus, they made such a big stink about how much to give people, how much to give regular Americans. And I said from the beginning, they should have just given everybody $2,000 every month as long as people were locked down. And I mean everybody. And then they wouldn't have to very simply do that. And then not have to give any other funding to anything else. Not set aside this for daycare, not set aside this for to help the arts, not set aside this for businesses. Just give everybody $2,000 a month. And if people wanted to donate, who didn't need it, wanted to donate it to something they want, like the arts that they wanted to keep going, or like a theater or something that was in trouble, then they could do that. Because then, if enough people didn't feel like that thing was worth their money that they needed, then that thing maybe didn't need to be around. Now, that would have worked to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people think, oh no, they had to save businesses and let people die. Whatever. But, in this case, when we're talking about Hollywood and we're talking about companies and people who actually have millions of dollars already, they have millions of dollars in the bank. And they have a business. A business that probably can be done from anywhere. But that business gets hundreds of thousands of dollars in PPP loan? And it's all rich people doing rich things. And I'm thinking, if that one did it, then probably all the other ones did it. You know what I mean? Like talent agencies and management companies and, probably sports type management people, all that kind of stuff. If that one did it, they probably all did it. And if they all did it, the government was giving all kinds of money to rich people who didn't need help. And I'm not saying these people did it illegally, or they snuck something. I'm saying the government allowed for all these things. Like when Jerry Seinfeld was complaining about all the small comedy clubs that were going to go out of business because of, and I said, well, why doesn't he just pay for it? Because he's got a ridiculous amount of money. If the band's not worth, he got to be worth at least $500 million. He could have bought them himself, kept them, and then when things got back to normal, sold them again. And he didn't need to beg the government to help those things out while people were struggling so bad. And people weren't struggling just because of the pandemic. They were struggling already, and then the pandemic made things insane. But the government only helped regular people to the smallest amount, but then they threw all this other money. Right now, there's a state where, I forgot which state it is, it's somewhere in the middle, like it's Ohio or one of them. And the governor is going to have a lottery for anybody who gets vaccinated. They'll be entered into a lottery to win $1 million. And he's going to use that from money that money is going to be money that came from the CARES Act, I guess. One of these things. And it's like, it would have been nice if they just split that up and gave a bunch of people who needed it in that area a $1,000 check. But that's not the point. The point is to get people to do something they don't want to do and try to buy them with that. Because they don't really want to help people. They never really wanted to help people. And when you see who got all this money, like I said, no Hollywood business no sports team, nothing that has individuals who have millions and millions of dollars should have gotten any government help during the pandemic. Because if the people themselves have more than enough in their own bank accounts, more than enough to cover their side business or whatever, their business should not have been able to apply for money that, there were small businesses in the beginning. Remember when I think basketball teams or something were getting money and it was taking the place of people who really needed it. And it's always the people who have and stuff who get a lot of money from the government. It's always been that way. The government's always funding things that have a lot of money coming in, or powerful investors or stuff, and the little people on the bottom get nothing. And this is, I had somehow hoped the pandemic or lockdowns or something was going to make it so that money would cease to be, or the way we did money would change. And I started to feel really bad when it seemed clear that it wasn't going to do that. And then now, like I said, all of a sudden they want everybody to go back to normal. The library is still not open. I used to use the library for a lot of things. That's what made me be able to still be a person when I couldn't afford to have internet anymore and stuff like that. It's one thing, yeah, the government can have programs to give people internet, but that's not it. That's not all. You need to be able to, if you don't have your own home office, there's things you need to do that, and now there's a fire engine coming to the street. It's just too hard to be poor in lockdown, because so many of the things you used to use that made it so that you could still function even though you didn't have everything people with more money have, they got locked down and stayed locked down. Like I said, the library is not open. I called them Friday to ask when they were going to allow people to go in there with like a laptop and use the Wi-Fi, right? You can't do that still. I think she said there's only one chair. They only have one chair for somebody to sit on. Not because they never had chairs, it's because of the rules. And you can't go to the bathroom at the library. Oh my God, how many fire engines are going by? Anyway, yeah. Everything is disheartening. Everything makes me feel bad. This is why I have to do the impossible. I have to force myself to somehow, and everything has made me feel worse than I've ever felt in my life. Everything has just been a kick in the head. Everything makes me feel like even somebody as stupid as me, who used to be able to wish all kinds of stupidity, just doesn't, I haven't seen a path for about 6 months. I didn't make it that way. The lockdowns plus the rules of Massachusetts from before made it that way. I had a slight slimmer of a chance, this glimmer of a hope, a sliver of a chance. You know, if lockdown hadn't gone on that long, if things have been a little bit different, but then, and I see these people who are horrible people, who are grifters, and they just play the game to incredible, and they're still winning. And the lockdowns and the pandemic should have been an equalizer. But the people in control kept it in control, kept it for the rich, kept it for the people who do whatever they can, stab anybody in the back, lie, cheat, steal. They still put it all in their favor. They put it in the bank's favor. Just like always. And that, if the pandemic was something that happened by nature, it should have been a natural clearing, a natural thing to wipe out some iniquity and set people back to the right way of thinking and away from money and greed and power and all that shit. And it just made all those kind of people stronger, and it made those of us on the bottom weaker to the point of I don't even know. I can't even function at this point. But I keep pushing myself, and like I said, something's taking over. I don't know. But yeah.